Hi everyone, welcome to section 3, where we are going to be structuring the UI of our DVD Store Angular application. In our first video, we are going to be creating the components for a movie table and a category filter. So that will involve creating the class for a movie table, in addition for its HTML template, and then we'll be putting together a component class for the category filter along with its HTML template. And lastly, we'll be applying these new components that we just put together. When we're done, our output will look like this, where the blue boxes are the filters that we can click on, such as comedy, and the result will be just comedy movies. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is create a movie table component. So to keep things organized, I'm going to create a folder called structure, and I'm going to place that in the root of our app folder. So under client app, source, and app, I'll just put focus on any one of these files. I'm going to create a folder with the name structure. I'll close this file out. And within structure, we'll create our first component for this video, which is going to be called movietable.component. And the first thing that we're going to do here is include our imports, one for component, the repository, and then the movie. Next, I'm going to drop this piece of code and walk us through it, starting with the class movietable component. We have a constructor, which is used to declare a dependency on the repository class, which is going to be resolved using dependency injection whenever a new instance of the component is created. Now that's on line 10. Now right below that, the other feature in the component class is a read-only property called movies, which returns the value of the movies property defined by the repository class. Now starting on line 5, tells Angular how the component should be used by pointing it to the HTML file. So that we've seen before and we should be familiar with already. So next is to create that HTML file, movietable component HTML. So by selecting the structure folder, I'll go and choose a new file and create the HTML file. And within here, we're just going to have some HTML code that's going to indicate a header, and we are going to iterate through a collection of movies, as you can see on line 3. And for each movie, we're going to write out the name, category, and price. Now we're ready to start creating the category filter component. So also under structure, I'm going to create a file called categoryfilter.component.ts, and we're going to import our component and repository. Next, specify the template that we're going to use along with its selector, and then our class called categoryFilterComponent. So similar to what we just did, this component class now defines a constructor that allows it to receive a repository object through dependency injection, and then the setCategory method accepts a category, which is used to configure the repository's objects filter and refresh the movie data. So let's go ahead and create the file that's going to have the HTML code, and it will be called categoryfilter.component.html. And within here, we're just going to be pasting in within a div tag a few buttons that's going to allow us to either filter by comedy, romance, drama, or just show everything. So now it's time to register the new components in our application's root module. So let's hop on over to app.module. And we are going to import both movie table component and category filter component. Next, we will add them to the declarations. And now we are ready to reference the category filter and movie table selectors, such as what we see here on line 5. And we are going to do that in app.component.html. So everything we see in app.component.html, we can delete this now. These elements will replace the content that was previously displayed, because when our application starts, Angular is going to process the template, discover the category filter and movie table elements, and look at the list of components that have been registered to see which ones should be applied. So let's go ahead and run to see our results. Okay, looks good. We have our buttons to filter, and right now it's displaying everything. If we click on romance, we should just see romance movie, and that looks good. Drama, same thing. All looks good. And just comedy, there we go. Wonderful.